All right, I am back again with another ARC book review, and this time it is Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. Now, I am going to try to do a review of this book, but unfortunately it's very hard to do one without literally spoiling anything. So if this book review kind of seems a little bare bones, there's a reason for that, and it's literally because there's so much that happens in this book that I literally cannot talk about very certain parts of it without spoiling. And as always, I try to keep my reviews spoiler free so that people can see my reviews but still enjoy the book without being spoiled on it. So with that said, let's get to the review. So in this book, we follow Andrew, and he is going back to his private boarding school after, I believe, summer break with his twin sister, Dove. Now, prior to the break, he had some sort of incident where he punched a mirror, and he's kind of looked at as like a little bit like unhinged and the weird kid now at school. Now, he has a best friend named Thomas, and there is like a emotional romantic connection with Thomas and Andrew, and it's kind of almost borders on obsession, if that makes sense. Andrew is asexual, so there is a really good conversation about asexuality and his kind of coming to terms with his asexuality, and also like in terms with being asexual but also having these really deep romantic feelings for Thomas. Now, like I said, we are starting this book with everybody kind of coming back to school after this long break. We have this incident with Andrew prior to break that has kind of made him a little bit of the weird kid outcast. Now, at the start of this school year, Thomas comes back. One thing to know about Thomas is he is kind of has really abusive parents. I think he's a little bit more of a townie, if you want to say, and I think he's there on scholarship, but he comes back and his parents are missing, and he has a little bit of blood on his uniform, which Andrew notices and kind of helps him kind of cover up while Thomas is being talked to by the police. But there's this kind of big mystery in the beginning of what happened to Thomas's parents. Where are they? Why? Did Thomas do something to them? Did they just disappear after another fight? And you also have Andrew, who's trying to reconnect with Thomas while Thomas is kind of being a little bit more evasive. He's not really talking to Andrew. They're not really hanging out like they used to. So now it does take some time, but finally Andrew figures out what is going on with Thomas. So Andrew writes these fantasy stories, but they are all based in and around Thomas's drawing. So Thomas draws these creatures, these monsters, and then Andrew will create stories around them. Unfortunately, something has happened, and Thomas's drawings are coming to life. So they are inhabiting this forest near the school. They are coming to life, and they are going after people that Thomas cares about and or loves, including his parents. So Thomas has basically been spending every night since school started going into these woods, fighting these creatures on his own, being injured on his own, and he's trying to keep Andrew away because he doesn't want Andrew to be hurt. Now, Andrew basically is like, screw that. You're my best friend. I'm going to help you get rid of these monsters. So the two of them start embarking on this mission basically every night to go into the woods to get rid of as many monsters as they can. They feel that the school is protected at this point. And slowly over time, as they are fighting these monsters, obviously their connection grows even deeper. And there's, like I said, a very distinct romance between them that starts to build over time as they fight these monsters. So now this would not be a school or a book based in a school if we didn't have bullies. There are your very typical bullies who harass Andrew and also harass Thomas, most specifically Andrew, and it seems to revolve around something that happened with his sister Dove. Dove is also a bit of a mystery. There's something going on with her. She kind of seems like she's getting really annoyed with the fact that Andrew and Thomas are getting so close. There may have been like some sort of romantic connection between Dove and Thomas at one point. So there's like a little bit of a mystery there. Like I said, you also have your very typical schoolyard bullies who harass the two of them. But then you also have some very unexpected allies who do stand up for them and try to help them out. So yeah, outside of this whole monster thing, we do still have the school. We are very much based in the school with lessons and stuff that never gets shoved aside for the rest of the plot. Things do start happening at the school as these monsters get a little bit more bold and gain a little bit more power. So we do start to see some interactions between the rest of the school and the monsters and what the school tries to do to kind of basically gloss over what's going on. So like I said, that is literally all I can give you without spoiling anything of this book. I will say the last chapter of this book I had to read twice because I read it the first time and then went, wait. I think, did I read what I just thought I read? Or no, this can't be how this book ends. Like, this can't be what happens. Had to reread it again, and holy crap, the ending is amazing. You will not see it coming. You will not expect it at all. This is definitely one of the books where I don't think there's like nothing that I could pinpoint that would have led me to believe how this book was going to end. I'd be interested to read it again. I'm a huge rereader, so I'll be really curious to read it again and see if maybe there's like something I missed the first time through that I just didn't like pinpoint. But this book ends amazingly. You will literally sit there when you're finished, do like 1,000-yard stare, try to figure out what the hell you just read, but in a good way. So Don't Let the Forest In does come out on Tuesday, October 29th. This is perfect for Halloween. Like, absolutely dead on perfect for Halloween. It is perfect for anybody who loves those like typical horror movies with like a psychological thriller part to it. I think if this was an actual movie, I'm going to be really honest, I wouldn't watch it because I don't do well with scary movies. In book format, I'm a little bit better, but if this were a movie, I would not be able to watch it because it is definitely a little bit jump scary, very suspenseful, high anxiety. But if you love those types of things, you will absolutely go feral for this book. I've never read anything by this author. I actually don't even know. I think this may be a debut. I'm not quite sure. But I am very excited to see what else this author comes up with, if this is one of his books, because whew, it is intense. And like I said, that ending threw me for a loop. So I highly recommend you guys read this. You're going to absolutely enjoy it and love it. Like I said, it does come out on Tuesday, October 29th, and I definitely think you should grab a copy.